Hey there, this is Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the Pisces full moon that is happening on September 1st, 2020 at 10:22 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. Keep in mind this full moon could happen on September 2nd for you, depending on your location on the planet. So let's take a look at this chart as we find the sun at 10 degrees of Virgo opposing the moon up there at 10 degrees of Pisces. Every full moon is an opposition between the two energies where we come into greater balance. The full moon is when the moon is at the brightest in the sky and it illuminates. It opens us up to something we didn't see before. And in Pisces, it can be into other realms. Intuitive messages, what you've been sensing and feeling, more about who you are at a soul level. It takes us away from the physical reality of our lives and reminds us that we are more than just this moment in time. We are more than just this incarnation. So the sun and the moon are doing their oppositional dance to open us up to even more. And the Pisces full moon is often about what needs to be completed or released, what needs to be forgiven, what needs to be unraveled, and where can you step away from an egoic attachment. Pisces is often where we surrender something in our human experience up to spirit. We let it go so that it can be released from us. And it's a wonderful time to look at what you've been carrying or holding, perhaps what you've been focusing on that's been very specific or something you really thought you had to manage. The Pisces full moon reminds you that you can partner with spirit. You can work with bigger energies. And as the moon moves forward, it's going to make a conjunction to this Neptune on September 2nd, September 3rd. And that is an opening into what is spiritually correct for you now, where you can work with a trusting process, where you can open up to spirit and know that you don't have to figure it all out on your own. The Pisces full moon is always a good time of the year to take stock and take inventory of what's in front of you, what you've been organizing, improving, managing, and healing. And then look at what you can surrender, what you can release so that it doesn't bog you down or confine your energy. Now we have some very interesting dynamics in this Pisces full moon chart. Not only are the sun and the moon in opposition, but you'll see here that this Neptune at 19 degrees of Pisces is opposing Mercury at 24 degrees of Virgo. This Mercury is very clear in priorities, decisive, smart. It is aware of what it needs to do every day. And this Mercury actually has a lot of strength. So just before this full moon, there was an exact opposition to Neptune, the end of August, which could have been confusion and just feeling tired, feeling mentally drained. But as this Mercury in Virgo has moved through the third decan here of Virgo, it is trining the planets in Capricorn. So this means that something has been formulating and it gets a concrete understanding as this Mercury has connected with especially Pluto at 22 degrees of Capricorn and this Saturn at 25 degrees of Capricorn, all retrograde still. So there's something coming together about next steps that will feel solid. And it's interesting because that's an energy to make the most of. Make a list, write down your priorities, write down what you need to do, cement it, do something so that you don't forget. Because the ideas that are happening right now can really serve you. And again, they can solve some problems. They can give you some solutions. They can be very insightful about what you're wanting to do next. And the other thing that's really strong in this chart is that there is a cardinal T-square with Mars at 27 degrees of Aries. Mars will be going retrograde here in September, squaring that Saturn. And then this Mars is also making a square to Venus. And Venus is opposing Saturn. She's also still in conversation with that Pluto. So this is called a T-square. It's in the cardinal signs that always want to begin, initiate, or start something. And this is where you could feel a frustration. This Venus in Cancer is sensitive, and she's been moving through the feelings of what she wants and what matters to her. And throughout the end of August here into the beginning of September, she's had a bumpy ride as she's opposed these planets in Capricorn that told her no. And then her lover here, Mars in Aries, is actually showing her what she wants, because when Venus makes a square, it's a soft square. It's a square of desire. It's what she wants, but she can't have it, or she doesn't know how to get it. So there's a tension here, perhaps, in where you want to go, what you want to do next. And it doesn't seem like it's time to take certain actions because of this frustrated Mars, who has to wait. And Mars in Aries doesn't want to wait. He wants to head off on his own adventure, do it his own way, be very independent. But he's being tethered by these Capricorn energies that say it's not time, you can't have that, and you have to think beyond yourself. You have to think of the bigger picture. And then Venus, she's feeling unfulfilled and sensitive here. But you'll notice that she is making a sextile to Mercury that is an outlet for the energy. That sextile is supportive, and it's giving her a place to take her energy. But she's also in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, and this is a full moon. So there's an emotional flow here that's being worked through us. And it's interesting because I feel like there's a softening. Something is being softened so that you don't force it. It's actually tempering this very strong masculine energy. The feminine energy is reminding you to trust how you're feeling about something, to keep it in your heart, to not, it's almost like to try not to engage in a worthless power struggle. Just to honor what you're feeling and to soften. Because not only is this Venus softer in Cancer, but she then answers to this full moon in Pisces. And the Neptune energy feels strong too. So, you know, there's something here around making sure you're in alignment and that there's parts of yourself you have recalibrated. And whatever feels like it's taking you away from that balance or those messages, to let that go or ask for support with spirit. Now, the other very important energy in this chart has to do with the sun at 10 degrees of Virgo, making a beautiful exact trine to Uranus at 10 degrees of Taurus retrograde. And this trine is very dynamic. It's very energizing, and it's opening you up to some new possibilities and new solutions that weren't available before. Now is the time. Now there is something connecting, clicking, and coming through to support your life, your physical world, where you're going next, what matters to you. And this is a very exciting energy. And it also is the beginning of something building throughout September. Now, I have a second video for you that talks about this emerging Earth Grand Trine in the first half of September. And it begins here at this Pisces full moon when the sun is at 10 degrees, trining Uranus. Something is awakened, revealed, liberated. There is something that pops up that gets the attention of this sun in Virgo. And as the sun in Virgo moves ahead, it's going to eventually then trine these 3 planets in Capricorn. And so it's going to take forward whatever you've realized, whatever's come through at this Pisces full moon, whatever's developed, anything in your physical world. So the earth signs are always about our physical reality. And what is being reconstructed, what is now being built in a new way going forward. Obviously, this can show up in many ways considering how big 2020 has been. But there's something about September that is bringing in these new energies, these new dynamics. And it's going to build through Virgo season until the Virgo new moon on September 17th. So this video here on the Pisces full moon is showing you that, yes, there are completions, revelations, and higher awareness from spirit. But then there's something in the physical world that you're going to be carrying forward, developing, building, growing throughout September. That's going to be clear by that Virgo new moon on September 17th. And I talk about this Earth Grand Trine energy more in a separate video here on YouTube. And then I'll also have the Virgo new moon chart to discuss. So it's basically those 3 videos are kind of giving us a story. September has an important story, and we know it has an important story because Mercury, the storyteller, is making that powerful trine to Pluto and Saturn. So there is something coming through. I actually think it's coming through from spirit. And it's trying to land in our teeny tiny human brains and saying, hold on to this, understand this, know that what you're working with is supporting you. Some things need to be cleared out. You need to surrender your sense of control of it all. And to know that what is going to move through in September is meant to set you up in a more solid way to end 2020, but also to begin the next year. Because that Virgo new moon is at 25 degrees of Virgo, trining Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn. So there's something really exciting here. But again, it's the earth sign, so it's concrete, it's real. We're looking for the practical assessments and the tangible manifestations. And it's even like, what in your life are you changing in September that's going to serve you in your highest and best way, that maybe you weren't ready to make the changes before, but there's inspiration here now. There's a new desire, a new willingness, new connections, and timing. There's now timing. And then also, of course, this Uranus at 10 degrees of Taurus does make a sextile to the moon, which is also very supportive for feeling inspired, feeling ready. So I guess the main takeaway here is that at this Pisces full moon, as you're aware of what is complete for you and you begin to partner or open up to some new spiritual awareness and understanding, there's going to be something that comes through that takes root, takes shape, takes form. And September is going to be revealing a story for each of us, for all of us. That story is going to be showing up in the Virgo area of your chart between 10 to 25 degrees of Virgo. There is a story coming together, and it might be exciting to see what that is, how that unfolds, how that shows up. and where you're returning to a sense of power about your life. Because this is also where these Virgo energies, as they connect with the Capricorn planets, they're reconnecting you to the overall arching mastery of your energy, reminding you that you are in control of it, even when it shows up or it seems like it doesn't show up in certain forms. There's something here that's a reconnection throughout September. And also, if you have any planets or points in the third decan of Taurus, specifically, well, we could even say between 17 degrees of Taurus to 25 degrees of Taurus, then you're also working with an Earth Grand Trine in your natal chart as the transiting planets are connecting something for you in a powerful way. If you have planets or points here in the second half of Virgo, then you're also getting activated with the sun coming through. And by the way, happy birthday. So very exciting energies here, very big earth energies. And a reminder to be in the feminine energies, to soften and to, when you feel like you want to force something or make it happen, to look at how you can use that energy differently and how you can continue to check in with not only the softer feminine energies of flow, trust, and allowing, but also I feel like the main message here is there is something in divine timing that's taking shape throughout September. So I hope this has given you some really good things to think about and to sit with. Please check out the other video about the September Earth Grand Trine energies. And then I'll also have that Virgo new moon video for you soon as well. Thank you so much for your likes, comments, subscribes, and sharing this video. I'm super grateful for all of you on this YouTube channel. I am grateful for your time and energy, and just grateful that I can be of service and offer you something that hopefully continues to support your journey. I'll see you back here soon.